Hey guys, so I want to show you one of my favorite things, which is sprouted coconuts. This is one of the coolest things about living in Florida, is seeing this kind of thing happen in a tropical region. So these can take about 6 months to sprout. Just as the mature coconut falls from the tree or is cut from the tree, it has the husk on it, and they need a really wet environment. So initially they can be put in the ground and in an area that is really wet, swampy, whatever. About half of it can be put in dirt, and then the other half needs to be watered on the regular. If you're going to propagate these on your own, it actually is helpful if you soak them in water for a couple of days before you put them in the dirt, and then plant them to where this part, the little top end, this one didn't propagate. So he might still, you've got to make sure that they're mature coconuts that are not too old, that still have a lot of milk in them. So he might still propagate. I don't know. I'm going to give him another chance, but I'm going to show you. This end is where the sprout comes out of. So you want to make sure that that end is at least above the dirt. It can lay on the side because the roots will pop out the side and the sprout will grow up. So even if it's on the side, it'll grow up. So you're going to orient it to where this is at least up or out of the dirt. And then the roots will pop out from the bottom area somewhere, which this has roots on it, but it's not the roots of the coconut. Just as some grass roots that are on there. So this guy is sprouted. Obviously you can see that. If he were rooted already, you would know it. He'd be stuck in the dirt. But he has yet to root. He will have a root that'll pop out here through the husk on the side. They use a lot of their milk as their own nutrients while they are doing their growth process. It's extremely fortified for them. So that still has milk in it. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's still milk in there. So he's going to root himself. We are going to actually transplant them. That's why I'm digging them up right now. So we're going to put them on a fence row. Adult coconut palm tree can get about 60 feet tall. So we want to make sure that we space them out enough so that once they do grow in a number of years, they are going to be spaced enough. This guy is obviously rooted. I don't know if you can see his big, see his big sprout that came out? So he has sprouted, but he's also really kind of in the dirt. So I want to get under him and see. I have a hard barrier under there that's actually a boot of one of the palms that holds water, so I know that the roots are probably not going to go too awful far with him being this young, but I want to get under him enough to where we capture his root. There it is. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look how cool that is. So he's got a nice big root system. Oh gosh, there's more. So he's got a nice big root system on him. So that really, I'm glad that he's already rooted. You can see what does happen. All right. Hopefully you can see that. He's got roots coming out of all directions on him. Okay. So palm trees are pretty cool because they actually root from the base of the palm, and they root straight. There's not just one tap root like a lot of trees will have. They have all their roots come straight down from the base of the palm, and they will all come down in separately. So there's not one giant root. There's a lot of individual roots that come down. So this is him growing straight up from he was laying on his side. So he has grown straight up from laying on his side, and then here's all of his roots. So they are built to do that. That's a good thing. We're going to transplant him. We're going to leave him and see how he does. This guy is rooted in too, I believe. Let's see if we can pry him up and see what we get. I just want to be careful not to damage any roots that might be on him. Oh, he's rooted. Good. Look at that, guys. Look how, oh, that's awesome. Look how cool that is. You guys see all those roots? That is amazing. All right. So another one that has totally rooted. And we've just made sure to really keep this area nice and wet. So we'll wet it down and really soak in water on the regular. And we've probably had them out here, this group of coconuts. I would say I probably put them out here close to 5-6 months ago. I mean, they've been out here for a long time. So it did take them a long time to propagate. My husband kept asking, are they okay? Are they actually going to sprout? When's this going to happen? Because we just kept watering them. I'm like, just be patient. The babies will come. So we're going to see if this one will do it. He still has milk in him, and we're going to let him do his thing. These still have a little bit of milk in them, not much. But the one that hasn't rooted yet still is totally full of milk, which is pretty cool. So see all of his roots? All right, super fun. We're going to transplant these guys, and then I'll check back in. All right, bye. We planted a few sprouted coconuts in pots. So when we planted them, they did not have a root base. We're going to see if they have a root base now, since we're getting ready to plant them on the fence line. Feels like there's something holding it in there. Yep, there's roots on it. This one has a really nice root base. Look at that. Pretty cool. That's really exciting. All right, let's walk down here. He looks good. And we're gonna see, we have another pot of, there were 4, but 3 of them look like they have survived. So we're gonna see how they've done. You can see them all in here. So they were already sprouted, and my friend Sam from work was really awesome and knows I love coconuts. So he saved these for me. And I planted them in pots. And they've obviously rooted because they are in there. They are way in there. This one, cool. This one has rooted, but his sprout died. So I will probably plant him in another pot. His roots look extremely viable. So I will plant him in another pot when we're done here. We'll give him a second chance and see how he does. These have definitely rooted well, because instead of putting them straight in the ground like the first ones that you saw, these were planted in fortified dirt to begin with. So you can really see the root structure, and like what we talked about before, there's not a single taproot. These guys have roots that come out from the entire base of the palm tree. So there's individual roots that come all the way around the base of the palm tree, and that's what really sets it in the ground. So these guys are really rooted. Sorry if I'm flipping you upside down here. I don't really mean to. Look at those roots. Look how cool that is. This is awesome. Wow, this guy did great. That's amazing. Check that out. Look at all those roots coming down from him. That's so cool. All right, we've got one more in here. I'm going to try not to flip you guys upside down again. Sorry about that. Here we go. He looks amazing. Wow, he's got really long roots. Check him out. That's awesome. All right, cool. We're going to get these guys planted in the fence line. Okay, so we're over here on our fence line, and my husband, has been digging some nice holes for our coconuts to go in. Right now we have 7 sprouted coconuts, so we're going to have 7 giant coconut palms in a few years, which will be really exciting. This is going to be on along a fence row. You can see the black cloth. We're going to lay that out as soon as we actually plant these guys, because it'll be a little bit easier to slip the cloth over a small little sprout versus digging the hole with the cloth already there. So we're going to show you some of this process. I have some sphagnum moss and some Miracle Grow here. So we're going to use moss in the hole because these really like moisture. They like a lot of water. I want to make sure that there's plenty of water around the root system for them. And then I want to give some enriched dirt as well. We also have palm fertilizer, so we will end up coming back around once they're all planted and fertilizing with palm fertilizer. So just want to give some layers of natural dirt, peat moss, and fortified dirt here to plant this guy. And then once they are all in the ground and ready to go, I'll show you our fence line. We're going to plant some of our cut-off bamboo that we've been propagating in between all the palm trees. So this fence line will be palm trees and bamboo, which will be kind of a nice shade screen and also provide food production in a few years, a number of years when it's actually time for these guys to produce. So we're going to get them down, position him in the ground, get a lot of really good dirt in his roots under here. Make sure I put him up a little bit. I'm going to prop him straight up. Really get some good Miracle Grow around him. And then we're going to top the hole off with all of the natural dirt here. As well. And as you can see, the dirt down here in South Florida is very much sandy based. It's extremely sandy. So it does hold water somewhat, but water also flows through it. So I want to make sure that we have given it plenty of the peat moss to allow for more water absorption and plenty of hydration. Right now it's the growing season here in Florida, which means it rains a little bit. Most days it's raining. So it usually rains for at least an hour-ish each day. Sometimes just 20 minutes, but most days you get a little bit of a rain shower. Some days it rains the whole time. So this is growing season, which is also hurricane season down here in South Florida, but we're not going to speak of such things. That's not going to happen. So we're going to happily just plant our trees and our bamboo and be thankful that it is rainy season and they're going to get plenty of water. We do supplement our trees and our plants. We water them every day regardless of the fact that it's supposed to be rainy season, because they need a lot of additional water. So I'll give you an update as soon as we get this fence row planted.